Hello and welcome to this Q&A session with the stars of the film Wildhood, which is screening at KASHISH 2022, South Asia's biggest LGBTQ film festival. And you're going to be catching that right now in the theaters in Liberty Cinema, and of course online too on the Kashish Mumbai Film Festival platform. So welcome Joshua and Phillip, the lead actors of the film Wildhood, which is playing as an International Centerpiece Film here. And Wildhood has been one of my favorite films since I watched it around like a couple of months ago. And it blew me as soon as I saw it. The sensitivity with which the director unravels the story. It's not like a typical road movie, and it's not like a typical coming out film. It's a mix of both. So let's speak to Phillip and Joshua to find out what are the reactions of doing a film like Wildhood. So Phillip, I'll go with you. You are to be the character Link, who is volatile and brash. And are you like that in real person?
I would like to say no, but I guess I kind of am. Yeah. I think I just really connected with the way that Link handles situations. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I was perfect in every situation, which I'm not. But yeah, I guess I do have a little bit of a wild side to me.
Okay. And you basically were born in Canada from a French, Ukrainian, Mohawk ancestry. So it says that your heritage plays a strong part in your life. So can you just elaborate on that?
My family plays a strong part in my life. Everything about my family, everything that I've been through in life, for every decision I've made in life, they've heavily influenced, and I'm just very grateful from the people that I came from and the support that I have through them.
And how did you meet Bretten, and how did this film come to you?
I think it was like 3 or 4 months after the fact. And it was about a year before we actually went to camera, and me and Bretten just worked through a lot of things. I just wanted to make sure, because it's a very personal story to Brett, and so I wanted to make sure that I had all my questions answered so that I could do my very best and bring honor to their story. And so I just remember when I first read the script, it was something that felt so just felt so right to me, and it felt like a story that really needed to be told. And if I could be a part of telling that story, then I knew that I would just make sure it was done in the best possible way to my best abilities. And so it's just a really good collaborative experience, and it was a really good time, but a very painful time at the same.
And had you seen the short film which he had made, which is similar in subject matter? Had you seen that film earlier?
I did, yeah, I did. I was a little hesitant to watch it, but I watched it anyway. And the two actors who played Link and Pasmay are incredible, and they're actually featured in the film. And so it was really cool to meet them as sort of a full circle. They're the two teens playing basketball. And so it was really cool to just see them work and see their interpretation of the characters in the story, and then kind of feed off of that. Yeah.
Okay, just one more question before I move to Joshua. Basically, how did you kind of interpret your character Link per se? Did you draw from your personal experiences? Was there anything which kind of which you felt was which only you could bring to the character?
I guess a big part of that is just really just checking in again with my family, because they know me better than anybody does, really. And I was homeschooled most of my life, and so my parents and my siblings, I have 7 siblings. We all know each other very well, and we're best friends. And so I think it was a combination of drawing from personal experiences and drawing from experiences I've witnessed through my siblings.
Right. Okay. I'll come back to you again, Joshua. Thank you for joining today. And so you're from Ottawa, Ontario, but also you belong to a First Nation community. So how did that whole experience translate into you portraying this particular character in the film Wildhood?
For one, I don't speak Mi'kmaq. That's a different language and also culture from my culture, Anishinaabe. And what helped me with that was that I learned to speak Mi'kmaq, how I spelt translate my language of Anishinaabe and like how I write it. I basically translated that into the Mi'kmaq language. But funny enough, I was practicing Mi'kmaq wrong for 3 months. And once I got into Nova Scotia, John Sillyboy, our two-spirit and also language instructor, said to me, "What are you doing? This is not Mi'kmaq." And so I had to relearn everything all over again. But luckily, John was there to help me. And without that, I really wanted to do the film justice for the language, of course, for the Mi'kmaq communities. And also for dancing, I learned fancy dancing before filming that. Where I grew up, I didn't do any dancing or no powwow dancing. But now that I'm older, I got an interest in also doing that. So I started doing that for the film. And a lot of the experiences from my community and also from other experiences that I saw what was happening to other people and how they were feeling out, I basically used what that and I put it into the film, especially some experiences from my family who are two-spirit, and I kind of did it for them as well.
And how did you meet Brett? I mean, how did that role come to you?
Let me go back to 2019. I think they strategically waited until I was older. No, but what happened was I met Phillip. I met Phillip and Brett and Garrett in Toronto, but Brett and Garrett was through a Zoom call and for auditioning process, and we were in that auditioning room for about over an hour, and I felt like it was a good sign. And when I left, I didn't hear anything until like a COVID happened, 2020 of April, and they asked me for a callback, and I did the callback, and I remember doing that callback. It was like 16-minute long audition tape, and I got cast from that like 2 weeks later, and that kind of freaked me out. I was like, what? This is unheard of. Being cast from a self-tape without meeting the director and the producer in person. So yeah, they offered me to fly out there, and I didn't feel like flying because, like, COVID, So I drove all the way to Nova Scotia, 13-hour drive, made it to Nova Scotia, finally met Bretten and Garrett at the place that I was staying in, and they were just like wonderful people, like kind of like awkward at first because I'm very shy and
So you're like the character in the film, actually.
Yeah, I am kind of like the character in this film. I'm very quiet and introspective and shy.
Okay, I don't believe you the way you're speaking right now, but I'll take it from you.
Okay.
Right. So, what part of, I mean, like also like you're interested in music. I mean, I read that you're interested in music. You can play music in the film. Did you bring all that, your life experiences into the film?
I didn't play no guitar in the film. I didn't sing no songs in the film, but learning the language, language is very important to me. So I brought that to the film. Yeah, a lot of my family's experiences as well. I feel like I carried a lot of that hurt from my family as well, and also seeing hurt from my family, how they were going through it, and I just wanted to explore that for them.
So which was the most difficult scene for you to enact in the entire film, if you want to pick one?
I'd say the waterfall scene, like in the water. It was really cold. Like you may have not noticed, but in Nova Scotia at August time, it gets really cold. And the water was so loud, and you're just like trying to hear the notes from the director and our acting coach, Claudia. She was such a sweetheart coming into the water with us, and she wasn't like handling the cold, and she was telling us the notes, and we're freezing mid takes, like, what's the notes? Can we go? And we're getting our breaths in so we can, not make it look like we're not cold on camera.
Wow. And Link and Philip, which is the scene which you thought like, oh, I got this right kind of scene? Like, I mean, there's must be one scene where you felt, oh, I did it so beautifully. You went back home very happy with the scene kind of thing? Or any
Uh,
scenes?
I go home depressed every day. Actually, I don't know. That's a hard one because especially for a film like this where it is the director. It's such a personal story for the director, where so you kind of fall into this trap of a lot of self, questioning and self doubt, and just because there's really no room for error. And but not to say that Brett ever put that kind of pressure on any of us. Like Brett's the most supportive, just river of flexibility where we can do and play and whatever. But yeah, I guess it was hard to feel like I did it right all the time.
Okay, which was the most fun moment you had on the sets? Which scene was more fun to shoot, maybe? Yeah.
Probably, well, so I did like a week and a half of dirt bike training, and all of those scenes were cut. There were a bunch of scenes of me ripping around on this dirt bike, chasing cars, and my little brother Travis was on the back, and we had stunts. We actually shot all of those scenes, but then they didn't end up in the movie. But that was a ton of fun. I would just rip around on the dirt bike around the set, and then we also had this whole big party scene with a bunch of really cool actors, and unfortunately that was all cut. But I think it was just there were just as many high moments as there were low moments, and that really helped to balance it out and make that whole journey doable.
And how was it receiving the TIFF Rising Star Award? That must be huge, right? At the TIFF, you were nominated. You won the Rising Stars Award, so that must be huge. What was your reaction then?
I was very just blown away. I didn't even hear about it until my agent called me, and I was just I guess, like I said, the most important thing for me was that the story was told right, and then to get something like that is. I just really wasn't expecting it, to be honest, and I was just so just blown away and felt honored, and it was so cool. It was my first time at TIFF, and the movie also premiered there, and it was just a crazy experience that I've never been through before.
And Joshua missed all the big fun at the TIFF because he was away shooting in Europe then, unfortunately. So, but Joshua, you won the Canadian Screen Award and the Vancouver Film Critics Circle Award. So that must be special, right, for you?
Yeah, I was very hesitant to go on the Zoom call and to see the awards when that happening. I was just so much nerves were going through my mind, and I couldn't settle down. And I was about to miss it, but part of me was thinking to myself, when things get tough, you just gotta push through it, and that's what I did. And somehow it happened, and I'm still shocked about it happening today. And I think back and wow, this is unreal. That's unreal. And just thinking, I cry sometimes thinking about it, and it is something.
Right. But did it bring new opportunities for you in terms of more casting opportunities, or has things changed because of the award, or doesn't change anything pretty much?
There's some things that's been pretty busy with my life. A lot of things have been opportunities coming my way, and some work has been booked. And I'm just excited for what else is coming up for me, and also for Phillip as well, and everyone who was a part of Wildhood. It's just crazy.
Right. And
might I add that it was one of the most beautiful acceptance speeches I've ever heard, Josh. So I'm really glad you got on that.
Wow, cool. And what about the cinematography? It plays such a huge part. I mean, beautiful cinematography. So did you have a special bond with the cinematographer, or sometimes cinematographers can get very cranky on the set? Was this cinematographer very cool and sorted, or was he cranky on the set? How was he?
No. He was great. Guy Godfrey was the best. He is one of the best guys, professionals I met on set, and just how he captured us, like not just our faces, but like what we were doing and like the materials of our clothes and fingers and touch, and it just like brought
Right.
you into the film. And yeah, it was like sometimes like I didn't even know Guy was there. Like that's how good he was. And obviously
Yeah.
there were sometimes on set like some mishaps would happen, like nature would attack us with bees and all that. And I remember
Wow.
this one time, Guy kicked this dead log on the ground. I was like, oh, I know something bad's gonna happen. You don't kick dead logs. And he kicks the dead log, and you just see like these hornets just start swarming us. And Guy Godfrey was running. And that was quite funny.
So I know he captured the small little details, but also captured the expanse of the countryside so
Mhm.
beautifully. Like a huge mix of both extreme close-ups and wide shots, and it kind of draws you into the whole atmosphere completely, and also stays close to the two characters totally. So it's a beautiful work per se.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what about the music? What do you think of the music? I mean, in the film.
It blew me away, honestly. I didn't honestly, when I first saw Wildhood, the score just took me away. I remember the first time watching the trailer of us walking in the field, and yeah, it was just so amazing to hear Mi'kmaq, vocalist, just making this incredible score. It blew me away. I'm like, it just changes the story altogether. And yeah, I just really think it's really, really beautiful.
And Philip, did you also have to learn dancing? uh, for the
Uh,
last few sequences, last shot per se.
so I learned dancing on the spot, and Josh was my teacher. So I remember though, when we were when we were in quarantine, so we were one of the first productions to actually go up in Canada, in Nova Scotia, because it just the way things worked out. And Josh was working with a fancy dancer, and I remember watching some of the lessons and watching Josh dance, and then that scene is actually it was cut right down, but that scene Josh is actually Buzzmy is teaching Link how to dance in the moment, so it's very fluid and just happening spontaneously, and so I didn't have to do a lot of prep for it. I just kind of had to accept whatever Josh gave to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Josh, you dance so beautifully. I'm sure it took a lot of hard work for you to learn the dancing per se. Yeah, and with the
Yeah.
costume and everything. Yeah.
The regalia, yeah, that was completely mind blowing once I wore the whole regalia, and it completely changed. It changes the dance because a lot of the dance is a lot of healing and depicts how you're feeling in the moment. And then during that moment, it was a lot of healing for myself and also Buzzmy's character. I feel like it was a lot of Buzzmy's character. And the regalia, I didn't keep the regalia once the finished Wildhood. I gave it to Bretten as my parting gift from Wildhood.
Oh, how sweet. Okay. Just last few questions. Like, if you want to send a message to all the people who are watching the film in India, Philip, what would you say? Why should they watch this film, Wildhood?
That's a lot of pressure. I would say that I can't really tell you what you're going to take away from the film because I've gotten so many different perspectives on it, and people resonate with different characters and resonate with different moments in the film. But Brett is so brilliant in speaking to such a wide range of peoples that in some way, shape, or form, you will connect to Brett's story. And whatever that is, it's personal to you, but hold on to it and think on it and see where that takes you.
Joshua, what is your message to the audiences in Mumbai?
I hope whatever happens, like when you watch the film, if it's a healing journey as well as for many others who've told me. And I just want other people to know whether creed, race, religion, sex, or uh, gender orientation. I just want people to feel like they're accepted in the world and that there's a place for them.
Thank you. Those are beautiful words. Really appreciate both of you. And joining today so late in the night in Canada and so early in the morning in India, but we made the thing happen per se. So thank you for joining in today, and thank you Consulate General of Canada for supporting the screening and this Q&A. And thank you, Brett, for making this wonderful, wonderful film, Wildhood. So you can still catch the film on our online edition at online.mumbaiquest.com. So you can go there and watch the film. And the films are available only for 48 hours. So just grab your ticket right away and watch the film. So thank you for joining in, and thanks a lot. Namaste, as we say in India.
Namaste, Sridhar. Thank you.
Honestly.